Yesterday we had our FOMC meeting and the crypto market is here rallying to the upside. If we have a look on the crypto bubbles, all of the altcoins performing very, very bullish. We will also talk in this video about a liquidation zone here about Bitcoin, the next outcome, especially for the next run here to the upside, because Bitcoin is here now breaking into higher levels. Also, we will talk about the next levels here for Bitcoin to get here in a new long position for Bitcoin. As you can see here, our Bitcoin trade we are opened yesterday in the live stream during the FOMC meeting is here great in profit. Even also we opened a bond position there. Later also some updates over there. But let's first of all directly get here in the Nasdaq. So here we can see we saw yesterday over the day small consolidation here to the downside in direction of the FOMC meeting. By the rate cuts themselves, we got massive volatility to the downside and even also to the upside. Exactly what we're expecting. So we're expecting here the move here to the downside, grab the liquidity over there. I will also show you later the liquidity heat map on Bitcoin, and then see here this move back to the upside in the next all-time high already on Nasdaq. So the Nasdaq is already making by exactly now a new all-time high. Bitcoin is lagging a little bit behind, but also on Bitcoin we saw yesterday here a small consolidation here in the FOMC meeting to the downside after we saw before a small rally. And then on the FOMC meeting, huge volatility came also here in the market. Let's go for this one in the 15-minute chart. Here we can perfectly see before the FOMC meeting we got here this rally here to the upside, making the next high here, and then got a harsh rejection on Bitcoin to the downside, but respecting here our support line to the upside, which is kind of bullish even also on the FOMC meeting yesterday, and then saw this massive volatility as we expected with a breakout to the upside. And this breakout we are taking yesterday exactly on the stream. So as you can see here, our Bitcoin trade is here running in profit. We just use small a little bit amount of margin. We can scale up my position here right now in the next couple of days as soon we're taking out the next highs. I mentioned already yesterday, as soon we're taking out this high at $117,000, expect a massive move here on Bitcoin to the upside. So that's the reason why we can also set our stop loss already in profit. So as you can see here, now we will lose here no money on this trade, and I will scale up this trade in the next couple of days. So we can also remove our limit orders, what we are setting here over the night, because I was thinking if we are getting here one more leg to the downside, I want to also scale up my position over there. So that's the reason why we open also some limit orders, but otherwise we will keep this trade still running. Next trade target for Bitcoin is here kind of around $118,000. So after we had here our inverse head and shoulders pattern, the perfect breakout over the last couple of days here already, and kind of reaching also this trade target here over there. Main target of our falling wedge here to the upside is here the top of the falling wedge, $123,000. So we are on a good way to go. Also here, if we're getting here one more time in the 15-minute chart, you can clearly see that we are marked out all of our liquidity zones here. So yesterday we got here also the breakout of our falling wedge here to the upside by the FOMC meeting, and grabbed all the liquidity down below here and also on top of us. That's the reason why we have also a look on the liquidation, how the liquidation is here setting up right now. Most of the liquidity is cleared up in the lower side, so there's not much liquidity left here at $114,000. So kind of this liquidity I don't think there will be touched here in the next couple of days, maybe in the next couple of weeks, when some more liquidity will building up down below there. But when we have a look on the 1 weekly chart, we can see there's a lot of liquidity still sitting there, which is not touched, but also in the top of the side, we are still grabbing here a lot of liquidity to the upside. Let's go here also in the monthly chart here to see it a little bit more clearer about the higher levels. And then we can see here also here $120,000. There is also liquidity starting, and $120,000 is exactly the next target as soon we're taking out this high here at $117,700. As soon we're flipping this line bullish to the upside with a proper retest, we should aim also the next target of $120,000. Resistance sitting over here. So here we have a lot of resistance sitting here, also one resistance, and we will also get here in this resistance very, very soon if we are taking out this last high at $117,500 as we are on the way right now. If you're not positioned in a trade right now, just wait for flipping exactly these levels. For this one, we can go here into a different Bitcoin chart to see it a little bit more clearer. Here we have our next resistance cluster sitting. So as soon we're flipping these resistance cluster to the upside, get here a perfect breakout as we've seen it right now with a perfect retest over there, then we can trade this here into higher levels. Next resistance line came in here, 120,000 US, so you can kind of adjust it also a little bit here. So this one would be the next resistance line over there, where I should definitely get here some profits out of my trade. So I will also take up like a 20% of the trade, assume we're getting here in direction of 120,000 US dollars, because there is a lot of liquidity sitting, and at one time when we hit the liquidity, the market maker would also lead the price into the other liquidity side, which means it's down below us. So also there will be some more liquidity grabbed here in the downside. Overall here, the 117,000 liquidity is already catched up, so it's kind of very bullish for us, seeing here more momentum to the upside. In general, the crypto market is doing very well. All altcoins performing here, super bullish. We also opened a lot of altcoin position many days before the rate cut was scheduled. So all these positions are still in profit. Let me get it in my... I'm not logged in this account here right now, but as you can see here, we have our bong trade running here. So yesterday we also get here our bong trade, and we can also talk about the bong trade here, why we take this trade. We're respecting here this resistance line to the upside, broke here our pattern to the upside. Target is here around, kind of reached the target. So it could potentially get here one more retest to the downside before we see here the next leg here in direction of our final breakout, because when we zoom a little bit out on the 4-hourly chart, we can see we're building here a perfect triangle also to the upside, which the target remains here on 0.037 US dollars, which gave us here potentially a move off from our trade, like 55% if you entered it just when we break out here this level. Then we have 30% to the upside. 30% by 10x leverage is even not that bad. It's 300% to the upside. So even also not a bad trade to get here in a new position. So wait here on bond. Assume we are getting here the breakout of the resistance line over here. But otherwise, I also want to show you all the trades we have here set it. So even also here on Bitunics, we have set a lot of altcoin trades here, still running good in profit. So as you can see here, in the Ethereum position running, we have, ton position, kind of like in a break even right now. Then we have an XLM position running. Then also Jupiter is doing very well, 10% here in profit or 12% in profit, kind of very good. Also DOT and 𝗕𝗄 is doing well. So if you missed out all these trades here on the channel, be part of our Telegram group. I share all of information about these trades also on our Telegram channel. So link down below in the video description. And if you also really want to know how I catch all these trades here, just watch the video about my strategy or just be part of our copy trading group. So link down below also in the video description. But let's go here to Ethereum, because also Ethereum is here doing very strong and very well. We're also on the way to break here this resistance line, or we already broke this resistance line to the upside on yesterday. So target would be here also around of this falling, kind of falling wedge here. So if you count this like the falling wedge as it is here, so target would be here the top of the falling wedge, 4,780 US dollars, which gave us from the breakout, if you catch the breakout, 5% to the upside. If you're not in this trade right now, just wait if you're flipping this line here to the upside, getting a proper retest, and then you can also trade this all the way up in direction of 5,000 US dollars. So all of our trades performing very well. Bitcoin is doing the job very good, even also breaking here now into higher levels by hitting here 117,000 US dollars. And as you know already, these 117,000 US dollar is the exact level we have to break to see here continuation in the next levels. And then the next resistance line will come in here around 120,000 US dollars. And then, to be honest, it's not far to making here a new all-time high. So this is definitely what we have to watch out in the next couple of. So this is definitely what we have to watch here about in the next couple of days. So what is my outlook for opening on the US market? It will be mostly on the Nasdaq touching the 50 moving average here to the downside, get a retest over there, and then shoot in the next all-time high on Nasdaq. And if the Nasdaq pulling a little bit down, also Bitcoin will here get a small correction here to the downside, which is nothing bad at all, because as long we are respecting here our trend line to the upside, nothing needs to be worried. So we could see one more touch here to the downside in direction maybe of $116,300, where we have also some liquidity sitting there, $116,500, before we see here the continuation move here in direction of the next higher levels around $120,000. And as I told in the beginning of the video, the all-time high of Bitcoin is not that far. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and then we see in the next update tomorrow.